Special Fire and the Kid. Brian did not die. I see you guys on social media asking me if Brian died. He did not. His friend is actually very sick with a rare brain cancer, so he's doing a fundraiser in New York all this week, helping raise money for his buddy. If you're listening to this is Wednesday about 12:30 in the afternoon Pacific time in Los Angeles. Brian's in New York tonight. He's at Gotham Comedy Club with Dove Davidoff, also a good buddy of ours, doing a fundraiser for his friend who... I think they give him 3 to 6 months to live. So Brian decided to stay out there, which is understandable. And I'm driving the ship, so I needed a co-host, man. And I sent out the bat signal, and the Golden Pony answered.
Yeah.
Our boy Tony Hinchcliffe is in the house.
This is an honor and a pleasure to
What's
be
going
sitting
on,
in
brother?
for the kid.
I know, man.
Life is good. Touring, doing stand-up, having fun, kicking butt.
You were in New York?
Yep. Was just in New York on Sunday. We did an episode of Kill Tony live for the first time in New York after doing the show for 4 years in L.A. and other places, and it was sold out. It was awesome. The fans were animals.
Did you go there just to do a Kill Tony live?
Yep. Just for that. I flew in from Jacksonville that day and did a show at 2:30 p.m. and had the rest of the night off. Enjoyed Skankfest. Those guys put on a real festival. Comedians. Dude, we got to fucking do a festival. I'm sorry. Do you guys swear on this?
Yeah, you can swear.
We got to.
I swear all the time.
We have to put on our own festivals.
I agree. Skankfest, I was supposed to be part of it. Big J reached out to my team, and I was so busy in New York, couldn't do it. But I love when other comics... if they invite me to a festival, I feel like so
exactly
cool.
It's the coolest.
I feel like part of the club.
What festivals have you been to so far?
I went to the Austin
Moon Tower.
Moon Tower.
Yeah.
And then I got invited to the Montreal Comedy Festival. I was supposed to go there. Show sold out. My schedule doesn't allow me to do it, so Brian's still there doing his stand-up. But those are the two. Oh, and then I did Wild West Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's
Nashville,
a fun
2
one,
years in a
too.
row now.
Moon Tower and Wild West are two of my favorites. You pick the good ones. I see what you're doing.
No. Montreal does a big one.
They do a big one. They do a big one.
Really?
It's definitely not the most fun. It's got the most people and everybody, all the kids are like, I can't believe we made it to the biggest comedy festival. But it's like... At the end of the day, it's about, weather and fun and the atmosphere and who's
friends.
there, your friends. And, you want it to feel like Texas or you want it to feel like Nashville. The Wild West Comedy Fest is awesome because all of a sudden you walk out the door and it's rock and roll everywhere, lights.
Food.
Yeah, food. It does that. I always say Nashville's like Vegas without any of the negatives. It's like just
that's a legit
awesome.
Point.
I love
a great reference.
Nashville. People ask me, Tony, you go everywhere. What's your favorite? Nashville
and Austin.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
Yep.
Those comedy festivals are interesting because for a guy like me, like at Moon Tower, so Finding the Kid's obviously the sell. They want to find the kid because it's going to sell out right away. So we go there, and then they go, Brent wants to do stand-up too, so then I got to try and get spots. So in Moon Tower, I had like 6 spots, which for a guy like me is ridiculous. Like I felt like an actual comic.
Yeah.
Brian's always doing his thing. And then in Montreal, which I had to cancel because I'm in Toronto then for the Big Brown Breakdown live, they're like, oh, we're Find Kid. And then when you get there, try and hustle and find spots. Yeah. Like, dude, I'm there for a day. Like, it's a tough gig to do.
It's fun, though.
It's
fun hanging out with comedians.
It depends. Yeah, it's a different vibe. Different vibe. But like the hardest I've ever laughed and the funniest times I've ever had is like after the Comedy Store, we'll go get something to eat, and it's like D'Elia, Brian, and Rogan. We're just chilling there, and I've never laughed so hard in my life.
That's what it's all about.
The hang is what it's about,
and that's like where a lot of the inspiration comes from. It's you know what's funny about you when you're hanging with your comedian friends and you make them laugh, if that makes sense. Like sometimes the best writing is accidentally done in those diners in the middle of the night because you're like, whoa, I just said that, and if that made these 4
that makes sense
geniuses in their own way laugh, and that's a natural thought that belongs to me, you know what I mean?
Original thought.
Exactly, that nobody else can even have because it's your perspective on something. Then that all of a sudden, being a comedy writer, I feel like it's not at all about sitting at a desk with a blank sheet of paper and trying to figure out. It's about being aware enough to notice when that stuff happens. Like, whoa, that's one. Like you got
experiences,
one. Right? It's almost like the bait is always in the ocean. You know how like fishermen sometimes like leave their poles and just hanging? And sometimes you get a tug over there and you just got to notice it when it happens. You're only as good as noticing that the bobber went down. That's a weird analogy.
No, that's
that I've
brilliant.
Never used,
that's brilliant, man. Because like you hear a lot of comedians, like they say Jerry Seinfeld still this day wakes up. He's doing 2 hours every morning, 2 hours every morning. And I'm like, I wake up and I would try and do that because I try to mimic these guys' routines.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, I need some sort of inspiration. Like when we went to Australia and the experiences I had there, like that helped form stuff. Where I found stuff being on stage or the way people reacted or stuff like that.
Making adjustments. And, it's just like a fight. Stand-up is, if you look at it the right way, because it's, you're making adjustments to your opponent. If you treat the audience as like a, like you're trying to find, ooh, that worked. Yeah. Okay, so a straight left jab works on this guy. So pop a weight and then reset that up and set that up properly. And then they're going to think that this is, so if you make adjustments and I always reformat my set. Like I know a lot of comedians like have a set, and that's a fun, I'm not saying there's any right or wrong way to do it, but if you have too much of a plan, then you're sort of just like in fighting again. If you're stuck to your plan,
sticking to the game plan's not working.
But if you sometimes sticking to the game plan works, but you got to make the adjustments if you feel it.
Yeah.
And you set them up and you make them think that they have you figured out, because it's all elements of surprise with both things again. I mean,
you've seen so many comedians. I mean, obviously being basically coming up through the Comedy Store, then with the Kill Tony show. I mean, you obviously have your black belt in comedy. Can you tell right away if someone's gonna?
Yeah.
Right away.
Right away.
For those of you that don't know, and most of you should, Brian and I were on Kill Tony. It's it's an amazing show. But you have comics come up and they have 1 minute of material.
Yeah, well, they have 1 minute of stage time. They have a chance. So they could be in the moment. They could do material. It could be a crazy person that just wants to try stand-up for the first time.
People,
Oh, it's fun.
On mine, we had some crazy people.
You
wouldn't leave.
In the one we did in New York City on Sunday, it was crazy because there was, until the last person, in which I literally said, no crazy people this episode. Everybody was coming to kill. Like, it was like Tonight Show sets. Every single person, I'm like, how long have you been doing stand-up? They're like, 12 years, 8 years, 10 years, 7 years, 6 years. These people were all, which made me so happy, because is it the best thing for the format of my show? Not necessarily. It's just sort of a showcase, but it is good. And the most important thing is it's showing that, like, whoa, these New York comedians respect Kill Tony so much that there's no, like, I'm too big for that show. It's, I'm gonna get a little bit of a break. I'm going to get a little bit of a following.
Shine.
I'm going to shine. And that's really cool. That was very, just like I said, it just happened on Sunday. So it's still sort of like, whoa, the show has gotten to the point to where it's
legit.
It's an honor to sort of
be
on it, which is really awesome to me.
And so there was a crazy dude the last one?
Yeah, the last one. I'm literally like, man, the only thing that I miss about LA is, we just have the, sign up sheet on the sidewalk. Like, crazy people can sign up. Here it seems like, they send an email blast to all the top comedians in the city. I miss my crazy people. Let's all keep our fingers crossed. I'm going to go to the bucket one more time. I pull the name out, Doyle something, and he comes up. The first thing you see as he's approaching the stage is this black t-shirt, but there's question marks on it made of green, like pool table felt. He made it himself, like a Riddler t-shirt.
Perfect.
Cut to the whole panel.
Did you say crazy?
Cut to the panel just high-fiving each other like, we did it!
We found one! Was he batshit crazy?
He was totally crazy. We ended the episode by lighting his ugly handmade shirt on fire in the bucket. We used the other comedians' names as kindling, and crowd goes crazy.
Blew it up?
Yeah.
You do the show with your boy Jeremiah.
Yeah,
who's brilliant. I don't know if you guys know this kid, but Jeremiah, he gets a beak on him. Like, I wouldn't want to be at a cocaine party with the kid. Man. But as far as comedy goes, he's brilliant, man.
He is the truth. He's coming. I've been saying, I said it last week for the first time I was talking with Jeff Ross. I go, I don't know what Will Ferrell was like right before his first thing. I don't know what Jim Carrey was like right before in Living Color. But he's there. He's about to go boom.
I feel like you can feel it too if you pay attention to him.
Oh, totally. Totally. I work with him every week for an hour and a half on Kill Tony, and he pushes me to the limit because he kills so hard that now I have to, it's like, I don't want to seem like a guy that just has a killer cast.
Yeah,
I gotta up my game, and that ups his, and it just makes it so powerful.
Dude, didn't someone try fighting him?
Yeah, and when
How about that? Someone tried fighting him.
Yeah,
he looks harmless. If you look him up, Jeremiah Watkins.
He's
right?
the most harmless, nicest guy.
Who the fuck would try fighting Jeremiah?
He's got like girly blonde hair. He's just an innocent little dude.
He looks like the guy who played like the harp or something in the background of a movie as an extra.
Exactly. He's angelic. Look at him.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to mess with him?
It's unbelievable. What a sweet guy.
You don't look at him and go, oh, Mr. Steele, you're a girl. Like, he could be best friends with my girl. You can be best friends with my girl, Jeremiah. You're a no threat.
I mean, absolutely. Look at him. I'll let him cuddle on the couch with her.
I'll let him do whatever
whatever
he
you
can
want.
watch us have sex.
Yeah. Naked.
Where did this picture come from? What the fuck is that?
His own bio?
That did him no justice.
Yeah, that's his own.
His own bio. Yeah. He got that glamour shot. You know, just roasted him. I love this guy.
Coming straight from a new Home Alone audition.
Looks like he's trying out for fucking Home Improvement, one of the kids or something. What the fuck is he doing?
Homo Improvement. Jeremiah, you're getting roasted on the fighter and the kid right now.
We were loving you, man, but that glamour shot fucked the whole thing up.
Hey, Jeremiah, if you could add a couple more logos and credits to the top of your website, I don't think we think you're legitimate enough. Don't let this word of mouth stuff work for you. People seeing the Laugh Factory logo, that's what's going to put it over the
Yeah, I'm so glad you. Oh, GQ as well. You're a model. You're a model now.
That's where he got that's the knit hat one. That's his GQ.
Hey, Jeremiah,
shot.
I don't know if you're on Tinder or not, but that's definitely a shot you should use. Your bio pic. Put that on Tinder, and maybe just add a few cats to make it more creepy.
Oh my god!
God damn it!
Jeremiah's coming with me. I'm doing the biggest tour of my life in August, and
I text you right when you blast out. I went, "Holy fuck! Congrats on the tour, man!"
And that's who I'm taking. Jeremiah's
opens
getting
up for you.
25 minutes before every show, somewhere around there, maybe 30. Who knows what we're gonna do? But we have these rock venues to ourselves, and I'm running my new hour 15 for my next special that I'm gonna do soon. And it's an honor to get to take him. I'm not plugging my dates. I'm plugging him still.
No,
like
word.
It's an honor to get to take him. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's
I'm
just
so
you and
excited
him.
about
He
it.
opens for you, then you come up.
Yep.
And you are all. I mean, I text him like, gee, because I'm doing a little touring, nothing to the magnitude that you are. I looked at your dates and like, you P Diddy?
I've never done anything like it. Monster Energy Drink hit up my agents and was like, we'd like to work with Tony Hinchcliffe. And I'm like, what do you mean? What kind of knockoff Monster Energy drink? They're like, no, the actual, Monster.
Monster.
They're like, no, the actual Monster. I'm like, the logo that's in the middle of the octagon, Monster, like the logo that's part of like Extreme Cool Stuff. And like,
yeah, man.
they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
That's amazing.
I'm a comedian still. Do I still just get to do what I do?
Do I have to like go out in those tights
Right.
with an M like you do? You
Right,
You have to
exactly.
just wear an M shirt all the time.
Yeah, I have to come out on a skateboard, drinking their energy drink.
You just totally sell out because Monster works with you now.
Tony doesn't even do jokes, and all of his punchlines are just Monster Energy drink. Am I right, people?
Just a complete plug. You just ruin your career. Yeah, but you're all over me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, who the fuck is... You've never done anything like this. This many dates, nothing.
Like this. And the thing that makes it really surreal is, like, for example, one of the dates is Portland, Oregon at the Aladdin Theater. And
love Aladdin.
Me too. That's the first theater I ever did, opening up for Jeffrey Ross in, I think, 2011, 2010. It was, really big deal to me to be doing that. And now it's my night. So when I can already picture, I remember that theater, the stained glass windows on the sides.
It's like a cathedral.
I'll never forget it. And when I saw that on the schedule, like I've done the Heliums there a bunch of times. I love Portland. Mark Grossman's the man and all that. But to think that I'm doing that thing that started the whole theater thing for me.
It's nuts.
And
do you document?
crazy.
Do you have a photographer in the city document it?
I should. I definitely should.
See, comedians don't do enough of that. I was talking
know.
to Chris D'Elia about this the other day. Rogan's kind of started to do it. To me, like whatever city I come into, I'm like, hey, I need a photographer. Yeah. Just because I want to document it, especially what I'm doing early on. I did this in the UFC. I was one of the only guy doing the UFC. I went, I want you to take pictures. I called my boy Eric Williams. Like, I want you to document my training camp, behind the scenes, everything, because I want that. Otherwise, I mean, again, it's part of my bit. CT could kick in any day. I might not remember shit, but I want my kid to be able to go through like, God damn, look at dad, man.
Right.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it gets lost in the ether. Like, it's tough, man. If you don't have someone doing it and document and just do, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing? And for social media, it makes it look so much more professional. Like, you're already a big fucking deal. You got a special on Netflix. You get someone to shoot that bitch.
You're
It's
right.
all about marketing, man.
You know, one thing that I have done is I'll go to a city. This always happens in Salt Lake City. Have you been there yet?
I'm going there next month.
Ooh, well, then here's a little gift from me to you, my friend.
Mormons anal?
And that's, I don't know what that means. You just combined two words there, Mormons anal.
I'm sorry, man. I don't know.
I end up, every time I've gone there on the Friday night, I end up trying to find a way to record my 2 shows Saturday, like
Really?
video record.
Really?
And it always ends up being, it ended up doing it again, being my protocol for my next special. The last time I was there, I taped my Saturday sets and I took that hour and was like, this is what I'm going to make my first special off of. That was about 3 years ago. And this past time I went there and not even planning it, on the Friday night, I ended up hitting up the same guy, Trevor in Salt Lake City. I found it, you know what I mean? Found his
Shout out
name
to
on
Trevor.
the messages. Exactly. And I'm like, hey, can we do this again? We did it again. He got an hour, 16 minutes on the first set Saturday, which was my favorite one. And all of a sudden, there you go. Bing,
And
bang,
then what do
boom.
you do with that? So you film that hour that
Right.
you're ready to go.
And then
what do
I-
you do with that tape?
Well, what I do with that tape is I show it to my agents and managers and I go, congratulations. You guys are still repping a bad mother. Here you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. You're the first to see it.
Yeah.
Raw footage of the material
Like,
and the
this
way
is
it's
what
going to go.
It's going to look like.
This is what I've been working on while you guys have been in your offices.
An
You know what I
AC,
mean? Yeah.
collecting checks.
Yep.
I'm grinding.
Yep. And they know that I have a knack for producing a lot of my stuff myself and just getting
your
it
idea
done.
was your last one, the one shot.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Thanks, man.
I text you that. I love it because, again, with comedy, just like anything else, if everyone's doing the same thing, how are you going to stick out?
Right.
What, like Neil Brennan, the 3 mics?
Yeah.
Fucking loved. Brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, 3 mic stuff, but yours with the one shot was so different, unique. It's at the Ice House, not at this huge theater.
Well, what's really cool is I ended up finding a director, the guy that made Ari's double Netflix special that's coming out
Yes.
in a few weeks. Ended up working with him on something. He ended up, we had fun that day working on this little tiny Comedy Central Snapchat thing. But something I did stood out to him or whatever, and he went and did his research. The next day he sent this cool, storyboard about how he wants to make this next one and how we can really up the production value while maintaining that same type of super connective texture.
Yeah,
Because what I
make
did, I
feel.
really threw that to, I really I really directed that thing, the original one, while doing stand up. In the pre thing, I'm literally like, slow, you got to go slower, you got to, this, that, and out. And I mean, it was not easy.
Is that because you're a control freak, or you know exactly what you want?
I knew
think there's a
exactly
fine
what I
line
wanted.
there,
Yeah, I wasn't.
where no one else can get it.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. They don't know what how I picture it, but yeah, exactly. It's not a control freak. It's totally like everybody's going to be happy if the people like it more. So
Yeah, like I have a vision. Let me
Right.
do this.
yeah, if everything else is my vision, I feel like that is an interesting thing that you just brought up, though. Is like, I feel like maybe comedians should control a little more. Like it's like if you're putting in the writing, you're putting in the performing, you're refining it, you're making adjustments, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, dude, capture this.
Yeah.
To some guy.
You shoot it, and the guy's like, all right, I'm going to shoot it just like everything I see.
Yeah, exactly.
I know when this is your baby and you're the creative one, you want these angles or this in the background or this.
Yeah.
It's weird to me.
Yeah.
It's I'm new to this game, but I watch specials. I'm like, God, you can tell they don't have that connection most of the time.
And mine's a little bit gritty and even a little bit like tinky and shaky at times,
want
but
that,
I
man.
like it like
Me
that.
too.
It's raw.
It's
It
real.
makes it feel like, oof, did the camera guy just half trip? Yeah, he
Yeah, he
did.
did.
I saw him
Yeah,
out of the
bitch.
corner of my eye while I was doing that joke. I'm like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, I hope that didn't. Ugh.
Fired.
Yeah. Now
Yeah,
they have to go.
reals.
They had to go back and like readjust. The
Yeah, man.
director had to go in and like fix. You know what I mean? It's all crazy stuff.
Speaking of Homeboy with Ari, so I did This Is Not Happening on Comedy Central. I had no idea the drama go down with Ari. I had no idea I get to set. I'm all,
You didn't
where
know.
the fuck's Ari? Where's my boy Ari? Everyone's like, it's dead. They're all. I'm in the green room with other comedians, and I don't know any of them. They were great to me, but they're like over here, and I'm over here. Like that's not my
Right,
crew. It's not like you, Rogan, Dilly, all the
Right.
guys. So I'm like, I feel like the weird kid in the school right now. And so I go, where's Ari at? Dead silence. Dead. And I had no idea at the time. I'm all, I just want to thank him for giving me this opportunity. Does anyone? Wait. And then Justin, our agent, comes in and goes, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is information I could have used yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, man.
I can't believe you made it all the way in there without knowing.
No clue. No clue.
Wow.
No clue. And then I called Rogan because I'm like, dude, doing Comedy Central, big deal for me. I actually ended up crying on stage, which is weird. Like, got choked up. Choked up. I know.
Christ, are you kidding me?
No, got choked up.
What a dork. Was it a time issue? Was it Comedy Central in 2001? Like, I mean, that's when it would have been like a dream. There's more people watching you right now on this show than there are watching. All right. Well, sorry, Comedy Central. I guess that just sealed it, by the way.
Let's just take it easy. It's not Comedy Central via Dave Chappelle show days.
Brendan, I just want to thank you for inviting me on The Fighter and the Kid. It's just something I've always wanted to do, and be the co-host. I was a guest before, and I just always thought that maybe if I just stick with it, maybe one day, if one of Brian Callen's friends gets sick enough, maybe I could be sitting in one of those red chairs.
I fucked up, man. I fucked up.
It's gonna cut from you crying to some like I've fallen and I can't get up commercial on Comedy Central.
Everyone's like, the fuck was that?
Life alert, we can save your life.
Comedy Central's a bummer these days. You see that big guy crying up there? No, I don't. There's no tears. I just get choked up. There's no tears.
No, what's up with the big tough crying guy on Comedy Central?
Boy, Comedy Central's really gone south, man. They got this big pussy up there now. Crying because he's telling dick jokes. God, what is happening?
This guy's getting rear naked choked up there.
Brain trauma's a bitch, man. You guys crying. I didn't think it was that funny. Yeah, I had no idea, though.
God. It's so
like,
good.
Where's my boy Ari? And then Rogan's like, you kidding me? And then obviously Rogan tells me. And we have like a 2-hour conversation at the comedy store in the parking lot. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, a lot of comics aren't doing it now. It's like, I had no idea. Is Ari upset I did? He's like, no, man.
That stuff's crazy what happened with that. I don't even know if Ari's talking about it. But
we'll see
when that comes out eventually, that's going to be some interesting stuff.
Yeah, man.
Woo.
Tough gig.
I mean, it's an interesting thing now. You just got to take care of yourself and you got to get out there, and the format's changing. The dynamic has changed completely.
Similar to your point earlier, how you're talking about how, comedy and mixed martial arts, same thing. Mixed martial arts, I tell these guys, you should have your own publicist, your manager better be on the ball. You should have your own merchandise.
Yep.
You should be telling your story, not waiting for the big show to tell your story or come around like, oh yeah, that girl, yeah, she's interesting, man. Let's talk about her.
Yep.
You can't wait for that. Same thing with comedy. Like, man, let's be honest. If you're really not on Netflix, if you're not in that shuffle,
especially the internet. If you're not doing a podcast, it's
social media. I had this conversation. I talked about this, but when I came back from Australia, and you've been to Australia, I actually made a joke about it on stage because I was having.
You did? Was it before or after you cried on Comedy Central?
This is before. I didn't lose my credibility yet. This is way before. I had a heckler, and he told me he was a fan of yours.
Oh.
And I said, I'm not Tony Hinchcliffe. I will come down there and slap the fuck out of you with this big brown hand.
I love it.
Shut him down.
Why would a fan of mine be a heckler? What a douchebag.
He was
so
hammered.
Weird.
I actually give him a pass. He's hammered.
Okay.
He was awesome, though.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of.
That is weird.
But the promoter in Australia, he was talking about how he gets grief from other promoters. He's like, yeah, man, like a lot of these old school comedians and a lot of these old school musicians, they're not good at, so they have no social media presence. They don't do a podcast. They have nothing. He goes, so I'd spend all this money with the marketing. Cost me money to bring him out here.
Yeah.
Because when I can just book a guy who has a fucking clue about Twitter or Instagram, he goes, you know how much marketing I did for you? I go, how much? He goes, zero. You did all yourself. Cost me nothing.
Yeah.
He goes, so why would I use these old kind of bands and these old comedians who have no idea how social media, because they're actually getting lost in the shuffle now.
It's so true. I mean, and there's the extreme other end of the spectrum, which is like a YouTube star that has nothing but draw and no real show to put on. But if in today's world, if it's a actual working artist that cares about their craft and has a vision and stuff, it's the perfect time to be in it. Because,
you're your own publicist.
Yeah.
Like it's up to you. Like I have this conversation with Brian all the time. Like, when you sell tickets, man, you have a following. It's up to you. You can't blast out the day of the show. People are busy, man.
Yeah.
You constantly, you almost got to be. It's almost embarrassing how much you got to. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I know it's annoying. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to write jokes back in the day when I wasn't working a lot. I used to write jokes on Twitter, like if somebody died or if something happened, I was the first on the scene. Now it's literally just promotions. I mean, I don't know what else to do on like Twitter. It's like, hey, this is Kill Tony last night. This is what we did. Here's Kill Tony next week.
Yep.
I'm going here this weekend.
Yep.
What else can I say? I mean, I see it. Yeah, it's just pretty much it now. I mean, the jokes are going to other things.
I heard some. I was in the office at CA, and there was an older comedian there. I won't say his name. And he was talking to his agent. And he was saying, he's like, this is bullshit, man. Because I don't know how to run Twitter and Instagram. I don't sell tickets. And he's like, dude, it's 2017, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, we can have someone do it for you, but that's usually not the best way to go.
No,
he's like, well, maybe that'd be better. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know the guy. I'm like, do not have someone do it for you, man.
Right.
Like, people can sniff that a mile away.
Totally. It's a strange thing, man. Because some of the old school comics thought that they were so untouchable. They were invincible forever because they were the television stars. Like we're talking about that changing format. Yeah, there was one box. There was one screen. There wasn't that other screen, and there wasn't that other screen.
Not the handheld
That's
screen.
new. That's new. It was just that, and it was plugged into one thing, and that was it. If you want to go way back, there used to be only 3 channels, right?
Yeah.
It was either you were on Carson or you weren't. And then, 26 channels. Comedy Central's one of them. And then 75. And then 150. And then the internet. Boom. And then Netflix. And then
digital.
Amazon. And then Hulu. And then it's all out there now. So those TV stars are getting swamped. Because not only is the thing bigger, it's not just that. It's the comedy is big enough to where people are realizing you can be a fan of 15 guys. Did you see that chick in Australia that made that cool shirt with all the podcasts around it?
Yeah, and it had your name, Rogan's, mine, a bunch of people.
And that's what I'm saying is like people are realizing now that comedy isn't, it's just like anything. It's just when you first find something, your gateway in. Like music, when I was growing up, I fell in love with Pink Floyd. Yeah. Right? And it was like my gateway to realizing how powerful music is. And then I found other things that were influenced and this and that. But in comedy, you can be a fan of 15, 20, 30 people. It used to be, Richard Pryor and
like 2.
Carlin. Yeah. Right. But now, because sense of humors are so different, and then all of a sudden, your sense of humor can change based on what you see and based on the other people that you already have. You know, I'm sort of like, I have a little bit on stage. I'm pretty like braggadocious and like very confident.
Yeah.
Well, it's me, but I'm leaning into it. I'm showing it. Yeah. I can't always, walk around.
No, you can't have any friends if you act like that all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, you could because it's so funny.
It's hilarious.
There's so many people I'd like to take right now.
Dude, start crying on your next set. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how that goes.
Did you work out the crying at the clubs before doing a...
No, man, that's the thing. Talk about feeling the crowd, bro. I didn't have a set, I had to throw the tears in there, make it more dramatic.
This was always my dream to be here with Ari.
Ari got here, he's gone. That's when I started crying. I realized Ari was gone. Oh God! You mean Ari's not part of this? Fuck! I committed to this without Ari. I'm a traitor.
Oh my God! I'm dying.
I bet, man.
Oh my
God! Like Rogan was saying. Or actually not Rogan. I forget, Rogan had some big country dude like Walker, Texas Ranger, Wheeler Jr. What the fuck his name
on my
is.
show on Monday.
Oh, was he? He's great, man.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy. I don't listen to his music, but he seemed like a cool dude on Rogan's show. He was like, dude, I've been on Good Morning America. I've done everything. He goes, nothing gets more traction when I do a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, I was having this conversation with a big company that I recently worked for. I won't get into it.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, we're thinking about doing this, this, and this. I went, whoa. Just those shows you just mentioned, my show is by far a bigger reach. Rogan's by far a bigger reach. Yep. You need to start thinking outside the box and go on actually podcast tours instead of doing a press conference that you air on Twitter that you're going to get 40,000 views.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. I can guarantee you this many people will download the information inside their ears. I can guarantee this is the minimum. Can you? You can't.
And I feel like the networks never wanted to embrace it. They wanted to always think that the landscape was theirs. I worked all my life to become a television executive. Yep. Everything's always evolving. You know who the happiest people that came up as television executives are? I know them. They're the Netflix executives.
For sure.
They're the Yankees. They're smiling. They get to watch stuff and go, you know what? I think we should acquire that. I like that.
Yep.
I think that fits. Those are execs.
Yep.
Those other execs are giving notes to shows thinking that that's going to change their game, telling your creative people what you think.
They're dinosaurs, man. Like, I just had this rant about Fox Sports yesterday, and their big president or CEO, where the fuck he is, came out talking shit about firing the kid, saying we use their brand to build ours.
We own Shannon Sharpe.
We own Shannon Sharpe. God,
when I saw that,
what a slave driver, bro.
I mean, wow.
We own him on all platforms. If I'm Shannon Sharpe, just as a man, I'm like, bro, we got to talk. You cannot do that.
Right.
I realize we're working together. You're a privileged white male. You can't say you own an African American. That is just insane.
Yeah. We own him on all platforms. We're using it. It's like his.
They're just not up on the times. Like I look at the content that they have and what they're trying to do online. Like they just don't have someone. They're just getting passed by. Right now they're in that fucking 68 Camaro, and I'm in the Tesla. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck? You're still driving that thing? All right, see ya.
I was having this talk the other day with a comedian friend that has a show on Comedy Central, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna make it big and fancy, and we're gonna even bigger and bigger and fancy. I'm like, or you could make it like what it is. It's just like raw and capture it because people are really into that. They want it to feel. I mean, we talked about it with my Netflix special. It's like they want it to feel a little bit dangerous, a little bit underproduced, and it was, and it is. It is underproduced, and that's people get you don't need the lights, the LEDs behind you that everybody has. Those the round LED. Everybody's everything looks the same almost. You know what I mean? And it's like you don't have to the raw. And that's a huge part of why podcasts are doing so great. It's because. Whoa, this isn't all these flashing lights.
It's not all these flashing lights. For the most part, it's cheap to do.
I'll even one up it. I'm going to cut you off. It's not even the production. Sometimes it's the vocalization. They just heard me clear my throat 25 seconds ago. I'm like, what? I'm thinking why when I did it. I'm like, wow, that was right into the mic. And it seems like a bad thing. On a TV show, they'd go, okay, can we get it one more time? You cleared your throat there.
I know.
But the throat clear here, almost looking back on it, that's sort of like, whoa, they're just being real. Tony
human.
had something in his throat.
Yeah, he's human.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing like when we're coming in, like, hey, what exactly want to cover? And I always just conversation, brother. Like, I just want people to feel like they're sitting on the couch right there.
Yeah.
Same thing when I was doing Bellator this weekend. We were going through these big production meetings. This guy's going to say this guy's going to say this. I went, I think we should ditch all our notes. Mm-hmm. If you don't know mixed martial arts, you probably shouldn't be sitting at the desk with us.
Yep.
I just want to have a conversation. I don't want to know what you're going to say, man. Yeah. Let's just make it like a conversation. Yeah. React. Listen to what I say, and then you listen, and we go back and forth.
That's the
But
key
if you're
word.
Waiting to get out this stat about Phil Davis, if you're waiting to get this stat about Fedor, man, then you're like everybody else. And I know personally, I don't want to do that. I don't have fun doing that.
Yeah, and that's how it works for everything. Even on it, you said it right there. It's listening. If people listen to the other person. I think that's the art. The art is listening. Listening. If you're thinking of the one thing that happened 10 seconds ago and you try to get that in after when the window's closed,
you miss a gem that this guy
sound weird.
dropped.
It sounds overproduced. It sounds like you're forcing in a stat. But if they're just listening, and if they're listening hard enough, then they can really find the moment for their stat.
Yep. But that takes a while to learn that.
Yeah.
It's taking me forever. I still have a problem interrupting people or but now I find myself listening more.
On Kill Tony, I get, a wide variety of comedians to be guests on it. You've been a guest, Callan, everybody, right? Bill Burr, everybody's been a guest. And one thing I definitely notice is that the writers that aren't necessarily podcasters, they stand out different in a very weird way. It doesn't work. They don't work on my show. because they're writing so hard. They're trying to roast that person or the comedian or whatever. They're thinking so hard that it passes them by. You got me and Jeremiah running fucking full court press, just behind the back passes of comedy. Like, we are pushing each other. And you have Red Band on sound effects going off of me and Jeremiah's dance, and then Joel Jimenez, the drummer, hits it. Your joke that you wrote 15 seconds ago is so gone.
Yeah.
And now what? Now you're thinking about the joke still. You're looking at the moment, but it's still passing
lost.
You. Every second that ticks by, and it's just listening, man. It's so important, and it goes that way for everything. Rogan's the same way with the UFC. You know, all those other guys to his left and right, always they have folders and this. And he has some papers in front. I don't know what's on him, but I know he's not.
It's not
studying,
stats.
Right.
No, I asked Rogan the same thing because we were going through this production meeting at Bell Pro. I'm working with Goldie. Like, that's his old partner in crime. And I said, I took a picture of me and Goldie and sent to Rogan. I'm like, whatever. Your old boy, man. Yeah. Virtually identical, like joking around because it's me and him. And Rogan goes, oh, love that dude. And I went, yeah. And I was just curious. I'm like, how much production do you guys do? He's like, no, we listen to each other, man.
Yep.
We're the perfect combination because we knew kind of the vibe of each other and we go off that. He goes, I knew, I do my homework. I knew the fighters. I knew the stats, but I wouldn't bring that in with me.
Right.
And now, and I'm not knocking the guys they use now, you listen to the guys that aren't Goldie and aren't Rogan, and it's very robotic, and very Fox produced, and this stat and that stat, and it's not fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Which is why when we do the companions, we just goof, just fucking mow over them.
Right. 7 of his last 9 fights. 7 of them. What's the
weird.
stat? You can hear
weird.
it immediately.
Yeah.
7.
And they're just
a
waiting
weird
for
number.
it to get out. Just waiting for it. Well, it's like also podcasts. Like, there's no producer going, hey, Brendan, God, you gotta get Tony to talk about his next special. Also, is there any way you can talk about your problems with Fox? Like, I'm like, what? Oh, and make sure you take this stance on George Carlin. And Brendan, we need you to argue Richard Pryor. I don't need that. That's not real, man.
Yeah.
That stuff does not work anymore.
Yeah.
And the ratings will support every argument I'm making right now. The ratings will support that. And advertisers, a huge article coming out, it might be in Forbes or Newsweek, I forget which one, but they're talking about how advertisers are just literally jumping ship onto podcasting because you got people. So just take our show for example, Fire and Kid or Big Round Breakdown. 3 times a week, they're listening to us. We know this amount of people at the very minimum are listening to us, downloading the information we're giving them. Listen to the reads doing this. Can you guarantee it with these fucking ratings on TV? No, you can't.
Right. Not at all.
And now with TiVo, now DVR, I can fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that bullshit. I switch channels.
Nobody should be. And the people and especially in the comedy world, going back to this again, it's like comedy, and I'm sorry to be going off on Comedy Central, but it just seems to be like a perfect.
Hey, bro, that's my family
analogy.
now.
Oh yeah, I don't want to bring
I'm
tears to your
special there, for God's sakes.
But if you're watching, say, a 1-hour special, right? Let's say you're at a live comedy show watching somebody do an hour. You've been doing that. You've been going all around. Imagine if every 7 minutes, some group of people came out on this stage and for. What is it, 2 minutes or 3 minutes? 4 minutes? How long is commercials?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
At least.
So imagine if every 7 minutes,
God.
I'm serious, on the stage, you had to stop, a black curtain goes just over you, right? And then these people come out and are like, Life Alert can save your life with this necklace on if you fall.
The crowd's all, what?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? And then,
back to the comedy.
Right, and then they go, so like I was saying, that would be a horrible show. But meanwhile, that's how we were, other than back in the day, HBO and Showtime, that was it. Those were the only, and that's why they were, HBO was known as that's the Mecca. That was the Mecca. That was the Mecca.
Do you not think so anymore?
HBO's not the Mecca. Netflix is the Mecca. Because of their algorithm. It's all about putting people in position to see what they want to see.
If you like Bill Burr, then you like Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe. And it's like, recommend these for you.
And you've already been through that, and you mark that for your list, and the this and that. HBO, sure, they have the HBO Go, and I love it. And I'm a huge HBO guy. I was raised on it. Somehow, even though my mom didn't have a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of money growing up, somehow she always made sure we had HBO. I don't know why or how. I guess it was probably part of some like poor people's package deal or something.
Yeah, it was like the one thing they gave you HBO.
She paid for HBO with her EBT. Anyway.
I feel like I feel like you're doing something right. If you're on Showtime or HBO, you're still doing something right.
Oh,
but it's like all the cool kids are on Netflix, aren't they?
Totally. And I'm not dissing
shit on
Comedy
them a
Central or
little
HBO or Showtime.
They've gone hard on Comedy Central, and those are my employees. So,
but it's
just
we're
a different
talking about the
animal.
landscape. Yeah, and it's great for the consumer. So if you think we're just talking about this, like, oh, they're talking about what it's like to be a comedian. No, we're talking about for everybody. Like, this is a historical moment.
But Comedy Central will be able to adapt. The thing is like Comedy Central and HBO, they have to adapt, or they just disappear like dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do. They have to adapt.
They would have to. Otherwise, well, they're just gonna give in and be like, nah, we're sticking on the tube. We're just getting, no, man, 9 p.m. We got fucking commercials up the ass. We know there's the Netflix and all that. We're just gonna keep riding this out. Let's give them 6 hours of Tosh.0.
I think we're watching it, dude. I think you're already imagine if I would have said 15 years ago that there's those blockbusters which are on every corner are going to be literally a punchline.
I would have slapped your warm face.
Literally a punchline.
Blockbuster.
I love Blockbuster.
Friday night, that place was so crowded. You get in line like, damn. Then the line for the candy, I get some of those snow caps, get some Twizzlers.
Sour Patch Kids.
Ah, fuck. It was a good time. Fuck. And then we get the front and they'd be like, you owe $200 in late charges. And my mom every time would go, come on, let's pay this next time. Let's just get through this one. Pay it next time. The guy'd be like, all right. And then we'd try to be like, yes, mom. And sometimes the guy'd be like, nope.
Sometimes they'd be out of the copy of the thing that you wanted to see.
Oh!
I mean, how?
When it was a new movie you wanted to see and there was none.
And the whole wall, and they just have the covers, and there's no DVDs behind them.
Heartbreaking. I would go to the friend like, hey, did anyone turn in the new Die Hard 2? It's Friday night, you silly fuck. No one turned it in.
Think about it now. What if you hit the thing on your Netflix and was like, sorry, too many people are watching this right now.
Heartbreak. Kids will never know that fucking pain.
The stock would crash. The kids will never know that pain.
Ever. When Jurassic Park came out on VHS, I went to get it and it's just gone. You're like, damn. Feel like crying. My dad like, we'll find something else.
Feel like crying. Save it for when you're an old man on Comedy Central.
I totally forgot about that too. I forgot about not having the thing there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Blockbuster was a big deal. Then they're like, all right, let's get with the times. Let's do Redbox. The $1.
Yeah.
But you still got to bring it back. And people are like, nah, that's too much work.
Yeah.
And then Redbox is fucking gone.
Yeah.
The Netflix and on demand are like, nah, we'll do this. And now what they're doing is Paramount, Universal, Sony, all of them are trying to figure out how to bring new release movies straight to your home. So the theater, which they make a lot of their money, like Netflix, like, oh, you guys like Will Smith? Yeah, he's a big movie star. His next movie's coming out just on Netflix.
Yeah.
We're doing a deal just on Netflix. My boy Todd Feldman's guy produced it. He did, Training Day. He did fucking all these movies. He shot this movie with Will Smith, and now it goes straight to your access.
I mean, they changed the game. Look, here's what I think. You want to hear something interesting that hit me recently?
Please.
I think we're probably 3 to 5 years until they start talking about the Oscars being on Netflix.
That's fair.
And Emmys being on. Imagine if Netflix made a deal. I'll give you 2 imaginary worlds. A, Netflix makes a deal with a sport.
100%.
If they got their hands on, just spitballing here, the UFC or you name it. I mean, the NFL.
You should,
game.
But then they're
over.
Streaming live, right?
Yeah.
The possibility,
and it's very close. This is all coming right around the corner, just like with all the other evolutions of everything.
Twitter already started to do it.
It's right there.
Yeah, you're right.
They're right there, and that's what they're doing. By the way, if you really think about it, it's like, wait, that's streaming.
What's next for them?
Live. Well, we're watching it streaming on NBC.
Yeah.
Live is live. So if we're watching it on if they make a deal and they're loading up on money, they're
They can't. They can't miss.
Yeah, they can't mess up.
Narcos 2 just finished.
There's one. You want another imaginary one? What if Netflix bought South Park? What happens then? If South Park, I don't know what their contract is with Comedy Central, but we know it's huge, right? Let's just
it's the flagship
say it's
of Comedy Central.
Right, exactly. Let's say it's $100 million for whatever, 5 years or whatever. I don't know.
Way more than that.
Right, but they can literally.
Buy 'em out.
Netflix is like the king on Game of Thrones. Like they can behead people.
They can do whatever they want.
They can torture them.
Yeah, and they just want content.
Yep.
Because if you're South Park and for whatever reason, if Comedy Central's not making moves, that they're supposed to be doing to stay relevant, Netflix, I'm like, don't you want all this art you put together? Don't you want to live on? Here's the biggest platform. We're in every city in the world, damn near.
And you think South
Syria.
Park doesn't want to all of a sudden be seen in Australia, in Japan, in...
I agree.
Everywhere. They're everywhere. I don't think... I didn't even really realize until I went to Australia in November that... well, I've been there the last 2 Novembers... But I didn't really realize that Comedy Central's not a thing there. Like, those shows aren't even a thing there. Sometimes they take one thing and they'll have one thing on their comedy network. Even Canada, it's the comedy network. And they nitpick. They'll take, it's like Jimmy Kimmel at 9 p.m. from ABC.
Weird.
And they'll have, maybe South Park rerun at 10:30.
Weird. I had no idea.
They get to sort of nitpick. And Australia is just pretty much, they just don't. It ain't happening there.
No, there's statues of you over there.
In Australia?
They loved him some Tony Hinchcliffe. I was like, how many times do you guys get many comics down here?
It's unbelievable. And that is Netflix. That's
Netflix
the difference.
is everywhere.
The difference is...
Which is why our friend was like, man, I need to be on Netflix.
So if we had, again, going back to it, if we had a podcast and a Comedy Central show, that's great because the people in Australia will hear the podcast, but they can't see the Comedy Central show. But if the same person has a Netflix special and they listen to your podcast, they check out your Netflix special, then they have you.
It's worldwide.
You're in. Then they're listening to
right.
every podcast forever. They're waiting for the next special. It's the difference in the world and one little sliver called America, which in our box is a big deal. But it's a whole round crazy planet. It's only I think it's only North Korea that doesn't have it.
True. Or they limit them even if they do have it.
I think even North Korea, there's a few people like stealing passwords for Netflix.
Oh,
getting
for
in
sure.
There.
There's a couple of Tony Hinchcliffe fans in North Korea. Better watch your fucking mouth, though. They'll kill them.
That's right.
Yeah, even with... I had this idea and I brought it to Fox, and I brought it to Fox probably 2 years ago when I was with them, but... English podcasting is not really available all over. Like if you're in China, if you're in Brazil, if you're it's all in English, which it limits you how far you can go. Mm-hmm. So I had the idea to get 2 translators that were pretty animated and would listen to our podcast and then redo it.
Are you serious?
I'd release it in Chinese and Portuguese.
Wow. That's insanity.
Fox went, oh, no, we want to do First Take, but Fox, well, no, man. Well, no. Well, that's not my idea.
By the way, I would watch every episode of The Fighter and the Kid in Chinese.
Right?
I cry on the Comedy Central. I finally have my chance to live my dream, and I cry like a baby. I think, where is the Ari?
Bro, they wouldn't be saying in terrible English.
I don't know how to speak Chinese.
Oh, that Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh, I cry so hard on the Comedy Central. Tear come out of my eyes. I was all like, oh, why am I so big and muscular? And I cry. Oh, am I finally get my chance to tell a story? And all of a sudden, a tear come out of my eye.
What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Why did I tell you I cried on Comedy Central? And you went, excuse me, sir? It's not 2007. It's not a big deal. It's so ridiculous.
I can't believe you cried.
I can't believe I told you. I can't believe I lead it off with that. was a bad idea.
There's something about it's just like there's certain things that just cut me right to the core, and like a big tough guy like you, shedding a tear is like my everything.
I was hoping damn, that's really cool, man. Counting Stones, that special moment. And then I thought it's either gonna go one of two ways. I'm either get roasted by the roast master, or just be like, cool, man, just kind of not acknowledge it and move on. Nope, fucked up.
Oh my god!
That's not a bad idea, though, right? Chinese have someone translate. Chinese,
I hope that
Portuguese.
they just edit everything else out of your story out, and it's just you crying up there in slow motion. They're like, "We need to make this."
That's the end credits. Me in slow motion crying, just credits.
My god!
Did you moving on? Yeah, I cried. Big deal, man. Speaking of. So that wanted to make you cry. Cyborg had on your girl. Cyborg had on the Big Round Breakdown,
and I listened.
Did you listen to it? It's a good story, right?
I did, and
you got to be somewhat of a fan now.
You know what? The only thing that I don't like, and I ended up getting, I listened to that episode, and the one thing that it's like, look, here's my theory, and that's that bullying. It's not bullying. If you're a celebrity, it's not bullying. And I think a lot of these fighters, and I've been seeing it lately, someone the other day was like, someone sent me sexual advances, right? Someone says to one of the fighters.
Like a dick pic?
Yeah, they're getting hit on.
A female fighter?
Yeah, one of the girls. And it's like,
she
guys,
attractive?
I can't remember.
That's not sexual assault.
It's like, these fighters are realizing that they're celebrities, I think, for the first time. And yeah, don't look at your Twitter. Don't look at your Instagram. I deal with it. I'm a comedian. Yeah, everybody has it. If people know who you are, you're going to end up. If
you're a public figure, you're saying.
I'm just exactly. And
is that fair to say? But so I'm trying to think how it could relate to. So let's say your special came. You're a different animal. You're a fucking roast master, and so let's say your special came out, your new special, and you get 1,000 comments like, the worst shit I've ever seen.
Sure.
It's gonna affect you a little bit.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a form of bullying?
No, it's not bullying. People are
too sensitive?
Yeah, we're living at a time where that's part of the catch. If I want to read the 10,000 comments that say, new fan, where'd you come from, unbelievable, blah, 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 those outweigh the 1,000. I'm not staring at the 1,000 going, and we know for a fact, exactly, we know for a fact that Cyborg has a huge, awesome, loyal following. I know that firsthand. Because they're not my biggest fan because of the jokes or whatever, and her calling me out saying that she didn't like my jokes.
Which is fair.
It's not a Brazilian thing. Getting roasted is not a Brazilian thing.
I think it's tough in general because she doesn't she doesn't know you. I think this I think she would have given you a pass if it was you and Jeremiah on the Kill Tony show. But when it's the president of the UFC, Dana White, and Joe Rogan, the face of the UFC, on a plane, I think that's where it's personal for her, because then you have two people who are, let's be honest, supposed to have her back to some degree, and they're all laughing at it. Was it funny? For sure. That's what you do. You're a fucking comedian. Joe gets a little bit of pass because he's a comedian, right? First and foremost, he's a comedian. You're obviously one of the best comedians in the world, also one of the best roasters. But then you got the president of your company. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you weren't a comedian, you were working somewhere, and you walk in, and the president of the company's like just roasting the fuck out of you. Like, God damn, man.
That's like a normal job, though. That happens in real life.
It'd still be
the
bullying,
boss
though.
is the boss.
Isn't that bullying to a certain extent?
If he didn't make a joke, Dana didn't make a joke, and I think he laughed based on the moment, the timing. I don't even think he was really laughing at the joke. The context of that. Look, it's like this. It's like Trump said, "Grab him by the pussy," and that's what people remember. That's what people are like. Oh, he said he's a horrible human. He said he grabs girls by the pussy. But if you really start it 45 seconds before that and listen to what he's saying to some guy who they're out during a commercial break.
What's his name? Billy Donovan?
Whatever
Billy
it is.
Bush?
Yeah, but
that guy's the creep.
Yeah, exactly. They're in between commercials and they're talking about what it's like being recognized, what it's like being famous. Right, exactly. And it's it is taken out of context because he is talking about the types of girls that come up to him and are hanging out with
And
him.
you're saying it's easy.
Yeah, that's
Billy Bush, take a back seat, though.
Yeah, Billy Bush.
It's not exactly anyone sliding your DMs.
I think that's clearly what Trump's doing there is he's like, Billy, I mean, when you're like me, you can...
Yeah, he's a confident dude, obviously a huge ego, and he's just like, dude, it's fucking easy. I just fucking grab these girls.
And that last part is grab them by the pussy, and the last part of our thing was, cut her dick off to make weight or whatever happened. And
so what was your problem with the interview?
My problem with the interview, well, it wasn't that. What happened was I listened to the interview, and I heard her complain about being bullied by everything, and I guess there is almost something to the context of that situation with Rogan and Dana, but it also goes back to us talking about how these are dangerous, what we talk about. Anything can happen in these unproduced podcasts. That we were on a plane ride, sitting in the first pod of the front of a Qantas flight coming back from Australia, fresh off of Holly home, throwing a piece of lumber at Ronda Rousey's neck. I mean, we're all coming off of this crazy ride, and he was sort of an innocent bystander in that, with Rogan egging me on, saying we should do a UFC roast. Who would it all happen so quick? Who would we roast, Joe? I don't know, Cyborg. And I go, well, where would we start? And you know what I mean? It all happens so quickly that we also can't, as comedians, and this is an important part. Yes, we can't. The listeners that have a problem with that are the same people that laughed at a joke from a comedian this week that came up with a joke because he wasn't censoring himself, because he wasn't going, what's the nicest way?
You can't be worried about hurting feelings.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's a risk that we live or die with, and, you move forward.
I can understand from both angles, and anyone knows me, I do not play both sides. I never play both sides.
So I listened to the Cyborg thing, and I was sort of irked about it, but I didn't want to start anything or do anything. Yeah. But then 2 days later, she punches that girl. She punched her in the face.
Yeah, that could have been
a girl that's smaller.
Brother.
And I'm not on her side.
A girl, she's not that small, but a girl that was literally making fun of her, bullying her. Because the new form of bullying, and this is why I'm a little sensitive to it, because it happened with my cousin. The new form of bullying is cyberbullying. Because when we were kids, I get bullied at school. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I got to deal with it the next morning at school. I don't go, fuck, what am I going to do? Get home. I go online. I'm like, oh my God, it's here. And everyone gangs up on you. And then social media these days is so big. That's the worst form of bullying. Because now everyone sees it. It's just not the few students. Now everyone sees it. So in that case, and I defend Cyborg in this case, because that girl was constantly making fun of her online, trolling her. And remember, she's another professional fighter.
Right.
And she didn't think she was going to run into her. And I like it because there's going to be some repercussions for your actions.
You really think that?
I support it 100%. Because I'll tell you right now, if my kid is getting bullied at school, and he's like, Dad, this kid will not stop messing with me. I go, listen, you're going to spend for like a day or two. I don't know, in this new day and age, you might go to prison for 12 years. What you're going to do is when he does that tomorrow, you sock him right in the face. And I guarantee you he stops.
I agree.
Guarantee you he stops.
I agree with that.
Now with this girl, we found out what kind of character she is. She keeps going. She got kicked out of her gym. Her own teammates were like, she's a bad person.
Look,
you know what I'm saying?
Not saying
but it's not professional fighter comedian. It's not like if you roasted me for crying in Comedy Central, I punch you in the face, then I'm the bully. If you're another professional fighter and you're roasting me on Twitter nonstop, vicious shit, and then we come face to face, and I'm like, I'm a professional fighter. You're a professional fighter. What do you want to do now? You know what I'm saying?
But didn't it sort of look like a sucker punch too? Didn't it sort of feel like out of nowhere?
You're a professional fighter though. Like you're talking like, you know what I'm saying?
I guess. But I mean,
like it was like Paige Van Zandt. I'm like, all right, that's fucked up. She's a tiny little pretty thing. But like that girl's not small.
And I'm not on the other girl's side. I'm just saying I find it strange that someone goes from being complaining about getting bullied to punching someone in the face that hasn't been flagged for steroids in the past.
Yeah, but see, the steroid thing is like, how long do we hang on to that for? How long? She's been tested more than anyone in the UFC as female.
I think that's a good question for a doctor. I'd love to ask, like, if you take the steroids, because this is so interesting to me.
And no one really knows, but what they do know with the stats, and I think I heard Luke Thomas talk about this,
Because
almost positive. They say if you do steroids, it gives you about a 10% advantage. Speed, quickness, strength, about 10%.
You really think that's it? Just 10%?
I was surprised. I was surprised at 10%.
I think it's 30, 40.
I don't know. At that level, I do not know.
Because
1% is enormous at a world class level. If you can get a 1% advantage on your fucking opponent, oh my god! In track and field, you're talking about huge distance. In mixed martial arts, a 1% advantage, fuck, I will do some shit for 1%. So when they say 10%, I don't know.
That's the difference in Aldo's punch landing or McGregor's punch landing is 1%.
Yeah. Now that's why I don't know if I'd give it 10%. 10% to me at that level is so high.
Well, I mean, you also have to I'm just saying we have to factor in recovery. I mean, is the 10%
that's the biggest thing?
That's the biggest thing.
So you got recovery, but the other thing is with Cyborg, so she failed once. Do we just chalk it up that all her accolades, all her hard work is from steroids? That's not fair.
Maybe.
Oh, come on, Tony. You can't do that.
Maybe it's not fair.
Do you watch Vitor Belfort?
Don't you think
you watch Overeem?
You don't think it's...
Do you watch Josh Barnett?
I do. But don't you agree that it's different two men taking steroids or a man taking steroids against another man because it's male testosterone, so it's men against men. That one has more testosterone than that one. But a woman against a woman, if one of the women has male testosterone, that's totally standout different to me.
It's going to be a bigger effect, for sure.
Much
Now, let me ask you this,
effect.
Tony.
Huge
Do
effect.
you think,
Yeah.
out of Cyborg's entire career, none other female has ever done steroids that she fought?
Oh, that she fought in Brazil? Heck
Anyway,
yeah,
and in the UFC and in Invicta, you think she's in the only division in the world where everyone's clean?
I mean,
there's no way you're taking this long to think about.
I'm trying to scan my mind. Look here. Let me tell you why.
I hate to tell you, all those other girls are taking shit as well.
In the UFC,
promise you.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk, get out of here. I'm watching her on Instagram. I'm watching her eat the proper oatmeal. No, I'm watching her put instead of sugar on her thing, she's
Stevia.
putting the agave or whatever.
No, she's a fucking monster.
I'm watching her hit the heavy bag
I'm not saying
and then
everyone's
run
on it.
up a mountain and make these sacrifices.
Then you should see Cyborg's fucking training. It's nuts. When she does 50 miles a day and they're like, what are you doing? Look at you.
Come on.
Dude, no, this is what I'm saying, though. We can't.
There's a reason we know she's doing 50 miles a day. That's what I'm saying is the difference. I know of a horse that runs 50 miles a day. It's got a lot of testosterone running through it. It's a horse.
God damn it, Tony. I'm saying you can't just chalk up everything she did to steroids. That's not fair. Because then you got to do that for most of the athletes that you enjoy. I promise you, most of them have dabbled in illegal supplements or have been convicted of illegal supplements.
Convicted? Look, the guy, and I get it.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Nate Diaz. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz eats fish. He's a pescatarian.
He's a pescatarian.
And what do you think?
He's never been busted, obviously, but if we go as far as illegal supplements, he smokes weed nonstop.
Yeah.
That some people think that's an advantage. So do you want to chalk up him winning?
Crazy.
I agree. I don't think it's an advantage.
Talk.
His brother was so high,
steroids,
he laid down on the ground fighting Anderson Silva.
Oh, and I stood up. I popped up. I'll never forget that moment, by the way. I saw Goldie and Rogan stand up out of their seats. No, I mean, literally, they were just hyped. That wasn't the stand-up one. That was Holly Holm Ronda Rousey. We all their chairs went back. I mean, It was very unbelievable.
Earth-shattering.
But I remember seeing Joe slamming. I heard this thing when he laid down against Anderson Silva because I was literally like, oh, I'm an old pro wrestling fan,
See, I don't get down with that. To me, I thought, this is a gimmick.
Look, and it goes both ways. I liked it as a setup because you don't know what's coming afterwards, right? If he wins
I knew we were in for a bad fight. When he did that, I went, this fight's going to suck.
Yeah, I mean...
how was the fight?
It was
not
just
a great fight.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, it
takes balls to do that, and that's why I like the Diaz. It's like they have huge balls, which I enjoy. But what I'm saying to you is,
But Nate did crawl into Connor's head doing his stuff in that round too. I mean, you watch it again. He's literally he's
for sure, he still lost the fight.
No, Nate beat Connor in the first one.
The first one, I'm saying
Yeah.
he lost the second. He did the same thing in the second one. Was
Well,
kind
the
of
second one, I mean, Connor's jogging away and
He
stuff.
still won the fight, though.
Yeah, according to the judges' scorecard.
That's all we care about in this life.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Were
now
you at
Connor's-
that one?
What's
Did you,
up?
You watched it, huh?
I've seen it 1 million times.
Jeez,
Now Connor would been in trouble if there was a 6th round.
yeah.
If it was a street fight, Connor would be in trouble. But that's not our sport,
Right.
So I won't even entertain those arguments.
you're
That's like, what if there's a 6th round? And what happens if fucking sharks got thrown?
I'm
in
just
the
saying
cage? It's the same argument.
sometimes going back to the Nick Diaz Anderson Silva thing, I feel like there is something to sometimes using that psychology. I don't think it worked against Anderson Silva. I think he takes a
Anderson
step
Silva.
back, puts his hands
Yeah,
on
he's
his
like, what are you
waist.
doing?
Right.
All I'm saying is, so your favorite fighter, and obviously Nate and Nick have never done steroids, very clear. But people make exceptions for people that it works for them, their favorite fighters, favorite athletes, and then they want to destroy the ones that they don't like because maybe they had this hiccup in their past.
Again, I mean, look, steroids is steroids. I was raised a pro wrestling fan. I don't have that big of a problem with the guys that are on. I understand that part. I get it. But to me, there's truly something that I find strange about a woman. And hey, why aren't the other ones getting popped? If all the ladies are doing it, I mean, I'm not really.
I'm not
seeing
saying
it
all
out
of them
there.
are. I'm saying the odds of that throughout their however long their career, 20 years, whatever it is. Duran to me at that high level fighting, Holly, all these girls at one point or another, I would be baffled if none of them ever of Cyborg's opponents have ever dabbled in similar drugs. I would be dumbfounded if none of them in the history of Cyborg's fighting career, none of them have dabbled in illegal supplements. If you told me that, I'd be like, holy, are you shitting me? Good for them. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because in the men's division, I could go through and tell you the guys that I fought that were on it.
Yeah.
And they get busted.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing.
It's part of professional sports.
Totally.
It's
all
just
the way
part of the
around.
game.
All the way around. And I think that they're going to find out later on that it would just be better that if everybody was completely clean. Like it should just be very even.
Now with USADA, they're so strict, so you're getting everyone clean. Ratings are down. We have no stars. Guys are getting injured.
Is that what it was, though? I don't think Ronda was a star because of that. I don't think Connor is a star because of steroids. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
No, and I wouldn't say they are. I'm just saying you're getting less finishes. You're getting more decisions. You're getting guys not be able to fight as frequently. You made it so strict, no one can do anything.
Right.
And the reason you did that isn't because of the safety of the fighters. The reason you did that is so you could sell to this huge company. Go, look, we're legit. We have testing. You don't have to worry about the John Jones getting busted anymore because now we're doing this.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
I'm excited for that one, Cormier.
John Jones.
Yes.
Are you going to that?
I'm not going to make it to that.
What's
I'm
the
on
last one you
road.
went to?
The last one was New York City. Where were we? Where was that?
Because you get Rogan seats. You're like
Yeah.
the best seats in the house.
Yeah, it's wackadoodle.
It's not seen that close.
I'm so close to it that I sometimes I'm sitting there and it feels like I'm on season 3 of This Is Not Happening on Comedy Central, and I could just tear up and
crying.
really just.
Only if Joanna's fighting. Dude, your girl Joanna got a stylist, man. She's looking better and better. I'm a fan. I mean,
Hey, she's
I've always
been looking
a fan,
good the
but
whole time. How dare
easy.
you?
When she had that white polo, you and her look like brother and sister. She just had the white polo nonstop. Just the white fucking business shirt.
She's killing it, man. And that's a big part of my whole thing is that I always have loved the women's divisions. I think that, they're so awesome and it's a different type of like style.
It's more personal. Like, so it's kind of, people are like, you're such a misogynistic pig. It's more catty. Like, it's so personal because they feel like they still have to prove that they belong. So you're getting these heart-warming, like fucking heart fight. It's all heart.
Yep.
It's scrappy.
Yep.
Now, I like women fighting if it's the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
If it's outside that, it gets a little tricky. I can go to an amateur show out here in OC and see better competition.
out of all the sports, I feel like UFC is the one, or MMA is the one in which it's not a joke. It's like almost cooler in a way. And I'm with you on that top 5 thing. But I'm just saying, like, compared to the WNBA, like, they have a different color basketball. They have a different what?
Yeah.
This whole thing is silly.
Well, the women's team, I think, called like the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
They were playing a game when we were doing our production meetings when I was at Bellator from Madison Square Garden, and the guys were around. There was females there. I went, fellas, they were getting ready to play a game. If we went full Joanna, man, got wigs, got our jerseys, could we beat them? I said, who played high school basketball here? Like one guy raised his hand. I'm like, I don't think we'd beat them, man. I think we'd get fucking hooped up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
By
like,
the
they're pretty fucking good.
The New York Liberty,
But
for sure.
but I agree. Like with other women's sports, like they just hated on Serena Williams, right? John McEnroe was like she would be like 40th place or 400th place or some shit like that. I think tennis is close to there, like women's and men's. I actually prefer watching Serena over any of the dudes.
Serena's sort of an interesting
Other than
exception.
that, though,
She hits those tennis balls. I mean,
I've been in her locker room. I was in.
I'd watch her
Miami
play
Open.
racquetball.
I
would
watch
just
play
watch her hit a
I'd
ball
love to get a
against the
game
wall.
of handball with her.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you would.
She's pregnant, man. She's pregnant, bro. But yeah, as far as women, women's fighting is about as equal, but only if it's top level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not top level. It's not good. Let's go to current events. What you got, Chin?
Ooh.
What's up, dog? Little mix
Current
up.
events. I
How's
love
your
that.
podcast going? How's the first guest ever?
It's going great. Yeah, in fact, you named my show, The
I
Pony
did.
Hour.
The Pony
It's
Hour.
going so great. We just had Big J Okerson on last week. and
Love that guy.
That's the show where I just sort of sit down and have it's not even as fun as this. It's literally like a real conversation. I try to get inspired and find some
Really?
compelling stuff out. Yeah,
God,
we
the
set a
shirts you
great
could make
tone.
with Pony Hour. Are you doing Pony Hour shirts on your tour?
I'm waiting to figure out exactly what I'm doing with
When you going
shirts
on tour?
right now. In August. I should take them with me.
Let's talk after this.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's extra money. Do you hate cash? Do you
Yeah.
hate money?
No.
And a Pony Hour shirt would be sick.
Yeah.
You got ideas for days.
Yeah.
Black shirt, gold logo, like an old school, it'd be sick.
Like
man.
a shiny
The
gold.
Pony Hour,
Yeah.
be sick.
Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Let's do it.
All right, what do you got, Jen?
First one is Cyborg.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Well, she's out of her fight with Megan Anderson, but she's going to fight Tanya Evinger instead, the Invicta champ.
Are you guys familiar with Tanya Evinger? She's a real pro.
Yeah, for those
When
of you
I
that
play
don't know,
pro-
Tanya is just a random girl on Twitter that started trolling Cyborg, and now they made this fight happen.
It's basically bully beatdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the bummer about Megan Anderson is she was a girl who was an actual threat to Cyborg. She was similar size, good skills, Invicta champ, ranked number 1 at 145 coming over to the UFC. So this is the fight everyone to see. If you didn't know who Megan Anderson is, you were definitely going to. She's also a good-looking girl. Like, she's attractive. You can market around her. She's Australian. She's fun to watch, man. Tatted up. Like, go to her Instagram. She's a sexy girl. Mm-hmm. And I hate to tell you, but that goes into building a star. It just does. That's what kind of, there's certain parts. And now she gets pulled out because of personal issues, which I'm sure I'll have her release that stuff. But, it's nothing. People go, I think she was scared. No. Stop all that bullshit. She was not scared. It happened to do with some other stuff. And it's also not what you're thinking. It has nothing to do with tests or anything like that. So in comes fucking homegirl that she's going to fight now, Evinger. She looks like she needs a fresh mud mask and some cucumbers over those eyes.
Wait a second. What is that?
Tanya Evinger, she's about to get dealt with.
Yeah, this isn't going to go
That's
good.
her.
Oh, geez. Why does she look like every bad slow bartender at a dive bar?
She looks like a real shitty version of Sarah Connor in Terminator 1. That's what she looks like.
Goodness.
She just looks like, and God bless her, man, for taking the fight. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of girls that would sign up for this.
This is not going to last long.
Look at freaking the dime piece Gina Carano next door.
She's sort of hot, Gina is.
Oh, sort of. Numero uno, pound for pound, number 1 female fighter.
Ooh.
Looks wise.
Ooh, I hope Joanna's not hearing me talk about this. I have the biggest crush on her.
You do love her, man.
I really
That's
do.
so interesting to me. Is it because she's such a beast, like skill-wise?
Everything. I feel like
You find her physically attractive.
Yeah.
I don't think she's bad looking at all. I'm not saying
you
she
gotta,
is.
You gotta see her in
But like
real
you got
life.
Halle Berry and her next to each other. You're going with her.
Halle Berry, yeah. I'm going with the 32-year-old champion. I'm not going with Halle Berry. What is this? What do you mean? Halle Berry? What is this? 2007?
Yeah, Comedy Central, bro. Yeah, they do. I'm in that world.
Halle, I never thought this was gonna happen. I can't believe I got to be with you tonight. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to do it. I got bullied as a kid when I was in school, and my dad told me don't not to cry until now.
Hey, this is some girl's record.
Yeah, Tonya Evans just at record, but
She's
you
a
see down
bantamweight
there-
champ, right? Look at
Yes.
that record, though. It ain't bad.
No,
Look what she
not
lost
bad
to,
at all.
though.
She lost to Sarah McMahon, Alexis Davis. Nothing wrong with that. Alexis Davis, Gina Carano. Submission choke, Gina Carano. Interesting. So she's doing work. I mean, you can market this fight because you look at her, what she's been doing in Invicta. She's been doing work, man. Just a different animal. She's just a
Oliver.
completely different animal when you're fighting Cyborg.
Yeah, all of her fights are in Kansas City for some reason.
That's where Invicta, I think, is based out of.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I get it now.
Beautiful Kansas City.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I will not be going on tour out there. She's screwed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Megan
just-
Anderson, I was kind of excited for her. I think she's a real monster and a real threat. And actually, this is what I would say to her is, I think it's for the best. I think now you come to the UFC, you get whatever issues you need figured out, you build your name more instead of just jumping right into the deep end fighting Cyborg. That is not a fun experience.
Right.
Get the contract, get the fans more familiar with you, and then do more of a mega fight and get paid more.
Train.
Things
Use the
happen for a
time.
reason.
Use the time to train.
Yeah.
For sure. Because
Yeah.
Cyborg's throwing those.
I think it's the only way you can look at it. What else you got, Jim?
Another fight fell through. So Donald Cerrone is injured, and he's not going to be fighting Robbie Lawler for 213, but they're going to most likely move it to 214.
Those two guys are going to literally beat the poop out of each other. There's going to be poop, and these
each
two guys
other.
are going to hit each other continuously. Am I crazy to think that this might be one of the crazier fights ever? Cerrone, Lawler?
Yeah, phenomenal fight. This is actually, I think, the third time they've tried to book this fight. And hopefully, I have no idea what's going on with Cerrone's injury. Yeah. But,
I picture this
it can't
fight-
be great if they're just, it can't be too bad if they're just pushing it back a few weeks.
I picture this fight literally coming down. Like I picture
Rory,
like
Robbie style?
round 5, literally
Crowd.
crowd all the way up. They just have enough energy to throw one punch at a time, like in
think?
pro wrestling, and the other one responds.
Like the
and they just
movies?
take it. Yeah, I really just. I mean,
I
these two guys
disagree. I think someone's getting finished.
are. If you had to.
I see. This is such an X Factor fight because it's such an up in the air fight. I don't know what the odds are, because Cowboy coming off that loss to Masvidal, he needed a rest. It really fucked him, man. Like they took advantage of him being the Cowboy, and he'll take anything, anytime.
Yeah.
Here's Masvidal, this monster. Didn't he just get fucking punched in the face, concussed by Matt Brown? Yeah, he's Cowboy, though. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then you fuck up your title shot. Now you're not getting a title shot.
Yeah.
So he takes time off. So now he's rested, which is great for Cowboy, but also Cowboy likes to be active to deal with the nerves. So now he's fighting Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler, new camp. They offered him the fight before. He's like, I'm not ready. I need to find this camp. What kind of version of Robbie Lawler we're getting after he got knocked out by Woodley?
Yeah.
So it's like, who's going to come to the cage? I don't think it's going 3 rounds. I think someone's getting clipped.
Yeah. I honestly, what do we know what the Cerrone injury is?
It's undisclosed.
They don't know. But I wonder what it is for them to move back.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can find out.
I
What
don't
else you
know.
got, Jim?
I'll take Cerrone round
Yeah,
4.
I'll take Cerrone. It's not. I don't think it's a main event, so it's only gonna be.
How did he lose to Masvidal? I can't remember.
Got TKO'd.
Oh,
Bad.
oh,
Bad.
yeah.
He got really murked.
I think I walked to the restroom during that fight. Where was that at? It wasn't
That
in
was in
Vegas.
Denver.
It was in. Oh, okay. That
Pepsi
makes-
Center.
Yep.
Pepsi Center, Broomfield, I think.
In front of his whole family. I think that's what he said,
Front of
right?
everyone,
His
yes.
grandma and everything.
Yes, terrible way to go.
Oof.
All right, the next one is The Bachelor in Paradise, the scandal where that girl Corinne accused the other guy, I think Demario Jackson, I want to say. They accused him of sexual assault. They did an investigation. Turns out it's all good. It wasn't sexual assault. But now they're going to do a reboot for that series, and they're only allowing a two drink maximum per hour because of that issue.
Is it 2 drink whatever you want? Because if you give me 2 straight vodkas, I'm
guessing that's what you have to do.
White girl wasted in every hour.
Yeah, they're going to realize real quick that
The show sucks.
Yeah, everybody's boring. Exactly. 2 drink max.
That's why in the Ultimate Fighter, like if I was like, damn, I'm starving, because you could order what you want. I'm like, can I just get some beef, like grill some hamburgers? They're like, we'll get it when we can. Hours and hours later, I'm like, hey, is there a way I can get vodka?
Right.
God damn.
Yeah.
This is what made the show exciting.
Especially this show with these people. These people aren't even personalities.
No way.
Hi, I'm Stacy, and I'm in here at Paradise because I feel like I could find someone that really connects with me. All these people
True
are
love.
just
True love.
buffoons.
And then the poor Demario Jackson with that Karine Olympios, whatever the fuck her name is. Here she is, the biggest cock tease in the world, gets drunk, takes her clothes off, jumps in the pool with him. He's drunk. They're making out. Now this, because she has a girlfriend, now she wants to press sexual assault charges.
I don't know anything about that, but
That's all bullshit.
I mean,
you don't want to know anything about it. Why I know so much about it is disappointing.
How do you know so much about it?
I got my ear to the
Oh,
ground.
I know what happened. I know. Once they saw you crying on Comedy Central, they sent
That's
you
when
a
I called.
they
Like,
sent
hey, you want
a-
to come on this show?
They sent
we
you
need
a
some ratings.
basket.
We need some
They
ratings.
send you a basket for people that cry. It had the whole season of The Bachelor in there.
What else you got, Jen? Moving on.
Okay,
That was a very organic segue.
And what else you got?
this one is trippy. A German white woman. She did a chemical tan to make her skin really dark, and now she wants to be a black woman. She considers herself a black woman. And if you look at her,
I think I've seen. Isn't this the Wayans brothers? What's the name of this movie again? White Chicks. This
that
is
actually
it.
looks.
Yeah,
She looks identical to the white chicks.
yeah. I've seen this.
But like
But it's
blacker.
opposite way around though.
Oh, she
There's
went
a
white to
girl
black.
that turned into a black girl.
I feel like that's easier.
a German.
That's her.
Whoa.
And there's
She gonna start
another-
dropping the N-bomb?
Can we talk about for a second the fact that she has
Her titties?
gigantic
Those
boobs?
milk chocolate titties now?
Oh my goodness!
Can we talk about them big old chocolate titties?
the blacker the berry, the sweeter the
The white juice.
the sweeter the juice.
The
Because
sweeter
she's
the
German.
white juice. Oh my god.
That's a white German lady.
Hey, look at her on Instagram. I have good news. The breast filled up on Monday went well, and I have 250 cc's more each breast. Furthermore, I had done the next step in my transformation. I like the beautiful big lips of the black woman very much. Smiley face.
Wow, this is like of the black woman. It's
That
like,
was her.
God damn, those are some black titties.
oh my god, I'm into this chick. She
I'm
looks
not mad at her.
funky, and I like it. I want to see what's going on. She's like a little chocolate covered Easter egg or something like that.
With vanilla underneath.
Yeah.
Swag of a black girl, but nice like a white girl.
Once you go black, you eventually go back. It appears with this thing. That chemical tan's going to wash off in a weird way.
That thing's
It's going to be one awkward shower a few weeks from now when the chocolate starts melting off.
Yeah, that's not good.
I like the lips of a black woman very much.
very much. Hey, she's mentally stable. Yeah, I bet she's just a peach to hang out with.
Yeah, I mean,
She has no fucking mental illness. You wanna
German
become black. Yeah.
white German woman wants to be black Barbie doll. Interesting. She's the only chick on both the guest list and Schindler's List.
Good God.
Black Barbie.
Like, what else you got, Chen?
All right, this is in New York. Those little sky rides at Six Flags. A girl fell off of it, but it's just kind of weird. You'll see here. So she ends up falling. They caught her. It was like 25 feet.
Jesus Christ.
But they did an investigation, and the ride's perfectly fine. The safety
She
restraints,
tried jumping
everything's fine. So they're not even sure what happened exactly. But I mean, she's 14 years old. She was with her brother. I'm guessing she was in a fight or something, or she's got.
Or she was just
I
being a dumbass,
actually-
like, sliding out.
I know this is an exclusive, but I actually know what happened to her there. She was on the ride, and she was watching her phone, and she has the Comedy Central app.
God damn it!
She's watching the new This Is Not Happening. She sees
Season
Brendan
4.
Schaub, season 4.
Season 4.
It's 4?
Season 4, son.
She saw Brendan Schaub crying, and she's like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Shit,
I'm
you
jumping
fuck this.
out of
Her
here.
brother's like, I don't know if that's going to kill you. I mean, we're like, I don't know, 20 feet above the ground.
She's like, I don't care. I need to get out of this thing.
I have to.
I have to
Maybe you
get
can just
away.
turn your phone off. No, I just want to end my life. I can never go back.
I'll tell you, man, Six Flags is shady. That seems like one of the most fun rides I've ever seen there. That seems like a safe, fun little, I don't know. What is that ride, by the way?
That's
Like a
one of
ski
that's
lift
the lane
rides.
thing that just goes around the park. It's
Yeah.
something my parents would want to fucking go on. What's the last theme park you went to?
It was Universal City. I actually enjoy it.
Me too.
Transformers, the ride. Did you do that?
I haven't been to Universal in years. I
Yeah.
went to Disneyland last
I did it
time.
a few years ago, and the Transformers ride, it's like you're being thrown around by the guys in
That's
New
pretty
York
cool.
City. They're like, they lift you. It feels like they're just
That's pretty
throwing you
sweet.
around a city and all this stuff.
It's just
happening.
the fucking lines. They're letting too many people in.
Yeah. I do a thing where I have a special wheelchair where I hide my legs in the inside.
Fuck off.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, good lord. That'd be
Just rip
sick. Let me borrow that thing.
I know, right?
What else you got, Chin? I get to piss so hard.
You want to piss first? Or you good?
Yeah, let's piss
Right.
first.
All right. The next one is an old Chinese lady. For good luck, she threw coins into the engine of a plane.
Oh,
but luckily, luckily,
Oh, good luck to us. We are going to have a very rocky fight. I always threw the change into the plane engine. Hey, the best of luck to us. I'm so smart. Welcome back to the Fighter and the Kid translated version.
that's exactly what happened.
Bro,
Oh,
what's wrong with this
yes.
silly old bitch throwing coins into the jet engine?
Sometimes for good luck, I throw bricks into it. We's gonna have the best, luckiest fight ever.
Stupid. For good
wrong-
luck.
Hey, what's wrong with this crazy bitch? Yeah, have a safe flight, everyone. And you know what happened?
Hey.
I saw this on Good Morning America. It delayed the flight for like 6
5
hours.
hours, yeah.
I'd slap a bitch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what's wrong with you? Does that look like a goddamn puddle of water in the middle of a mall? Why the fuck are you? Does that look like a lucky fountain? What's wrong with you, lady?
Oh, it is a longest-standing tradition. We always throw a pocket full of change into the $7 billion plane engine. So smart of us. It's a what do we do?
Is what we do.
It's a what do we do? I do a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a 50-cent piece. Now, I think the 50-cent piece is the one that blew up the engine.
Is she the worst lady ever? God, she's flying out of China or what?
I wish us all the best of luck. Ka-tang, ka-tang, ka-tang.
Ciao, gay boys. Just fucking-
Sometimes I shoot a gun at the pilot's head for good luck while he's flying the plane. Ooh, good luck on our landing. We're going to need it.
just the worst fucking customer ever flying with opening doors.
Sometimes I throw change into the front of the engine. It comes back out of the back in paper form. The engine is like a coin star machine. You throw the change in the front, a little piece of paper come out in the back, tell you how much you can turn in the receipt for.
Oh man.
Oh, I just lost my entire Asian fan base today, which was. I'm
Chin, are
pretty
you
sure-
offended?
I'm pretty
Love
sure
him more now. I'm sure.
it's just him. That is my
He's the
entire
one.
Asian fan
and
base.
he's not offended. Is that all for current events,
How
Chin?
many? You want more?
I want more.
Give
These
me
are
one
getting
more.
good now.
Yeah.
I'm into this
Yeah,
part.
this one's
Okay.
hilarious.
This is a very sweet story. This lady opened a coffee shop and employed 40 adults with mental disabilities. And the main reason she did it is because 2 of her kids have disabilities, and then she felt that as if those kids could be able to work and be functional in this particular job.
Yeah, man, I watched that show, Born This Way. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah,
but
I can't stop watching it. Are you kidding me?
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm serious.
Are you fucking with me?
No.
Who's your favorite character?
The one that like pretends like she doesn't even have Down syndrome.
Oh, you talking about Megan?
Yeah,
She acts
she's
all
always
too
like
extra?
DTF too. She's always
Yeah.
like so
super
horny.
thirsty. Yeah,
Oh my
she's
God.
super thirsty.
You know, I thought he was gonna make a move on me, and he didn't.
She's like, I went up there and he actually showed me his movie collection. I'm like, God damn, girl. Parents are downstairs.
Yeah.
She's literally trying to fuck 24/7.
Yeah.
Super thirsty.
she is down.
Homeboy broke
fuck.
up with her because of it. He's like, that's a slut.
Yeah.
He's like, she's a slut. I'm not looking for that.
She really is.
But then Christina on that show, so it's a show about kids with all Down syndrome, their lives and how they want to fit in with normal world and get normal jobs, and just their whole thing is don't limit me.
yeah.
And so there's this girl Christina on there, and she has a fiance named Angel. And I tweeted out last night, and I put at A&E hashtag born this way. What the fuck does Angel have? Because he doesn't have Down syndrome. I was like, does anyone know what Christina's boyfriend Angel has? And like one person was like, fuck you, bro. No one watches that show. I was like, yeah, you got a point. I guess I'm the only grown man watching that show. I can't figure out what he has. I went on forums, like I was obsessed with it, trying to figure out what he
Really?
has.
Did you look up his stuff?
Yeah, nothing.
He doesn't say?
Everyone acts like everything's all good.
Right.
And when it's not.
He's just banging Down syndrome girls. Maybe
You
he's
would think
normal. Maybe he's normal and he's just into that.
No, they had his parents on there because for a second I'm like, God, look at this weirdo. He's obviously a weird dude. And so I brought up his parents were on the show. They're like, yeah, we're just hoping he can live on his own. And I'm like, see, that's not the way normal parents talk about it. He's 40. So
He's 40?
he's like 40 or something.
No.
Most of them are a lot older than you think. Like that Megan girl who acts all
Yeah.
extra, like Hollywood.
Yeah.
She has gray hair, son.
Oh my God.
That black guy's like 40 something, like 36, 37. They're not young.
Oh man. Well, now they get to run their own coffee shop. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, where's that located?
I'm excited for that. I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to go
It's in
find
North Carolina.
Oh, okay, North Carolina.
What's it
Oh,
called?
Man, 2 hours ago,
Dirter?
get my.
this. Derpies? What's it called? Derpity doop?
I got.
Starburp?
I'm not going in on this.
What's it called?
I would love for one of them.
It's Biddy and Bose.
It's called what? Biddy and Bose?
Biddy and
Oh
Bose.
boy, they even let the kids name it.
I got nothing, bro. I got nothing. It's fucked up. Don't limit them, bro. Don't limit them. Oh my
I don't know
god.
about either, but he's just.
Yeah. What
Oh
else you
my
got, Chin?
God.
Let's move on from this one.
Oh
Speaking of
man,
thirsty.
You imagine how often, by the way, they get the orders wrong at that coffee shop.
Oh, I
Can you
bet
imagine?
So frustrating.
Did somebody get the venti caramel macchiato? No, nobody got that. Nobody
Fuck,
even
man.
ordered that.
God damn.
All right, one more minute. I'm gonna make it right now.
It's a bad idea.
It's like
It's a
everybody's
bad
just
idea.
waiting.
It's a terrible idea.
Man, this place is packed. No, they're all just waiting for drinks.
No,
These
yeah.
people have been here since 7 a.m. They're just, it's 11 right now. They're waiting for a drip.
Drip. What's this, Chin?
I got I went to that Biddy and Bose. I got a grande, a droop instead of a drip.
That's
a droop,
fucked up.
a droop coffee.
I'm not
No?
playing with this one. What
Uh-uh.
else you got, Chin?
I have a latte more of these Down syndrome
going.
coffee jokes.
Keep going.
All right, so this is in Missouri.
Short round. All right.
Another teacher who's pretty attractive.
Where the fuck
Had
were these
sex with
teachers
her
when I
student.
was coming up?
I know, man. I'm telling you right
She's
now.
24.
24, having sex with a teenage boy.
17-year-old, which is not too.
17-year-old
right?
boy. Is this?
This is most of her social media pictures, but they don't show the dude's picture
Let me
because
see that mugshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, dirty girl? Dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Dirty.
We learned
dirty.
history tonight. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Yeah,
What's up, girl?
the stuff I would have done to one of these teachers.
Dude, my
back in the
teachers
day.
look like trolls.
trolls,
and
and
were
I'd still,
mean.
and they were mean to me too, and I'd still get like so hard in class.
Oh, me
Like,
too. If
back
one had
then,
their
I mean,
tits out a little bit.
oh my God, I was crazy.
Me
I mean,
too.
we're in high school. You're just a raging boner machine. And,
For reals, man.
and if one of these teachers was like down to do that,
Look
is this
at
the
her.
one I read about one a few days ago that was like banging the kid in the car? Is this her?
yeah, in the car. This is the car.
Oh God! Like,
She
and that made
fucked a
it so
17-year-old
much.
in the car?
And that made it.
Giving head.
And that made it like so much hotter to me too. 'cause
God, she
there's-
would suck his dick at like lunchtime.
I'm not really into like bed. I mean, bed sex is like fun. I know that's like what everybody loves, but there's something about like car or
Yeah, I
stairway
agree.
or like
Yeah.
office
Yeah.
or bath. You know, there's like
Podcast, yeah.
podcast studio. You know, season 4 of Comedy Central. No,
Backstage.
yeah. So like the car thing made it so much hotter to me. I'm like, God, you little dirty extra
Dude,
credit.
how crazy is that? What did she teach, Jen?
She was teaching. It says here she was teaching kids how to make coffee at Biddy and Bo's.
Sucking off all the Biddy and Bones employees.
Biddy and Bones.
Biddy and Blow. Show also mentioned she had intercourse with a teenage boy at
What's
boy's
up with that?
She went to his home.
Oh,
That is risky.
damn.
Parents like, what the fuck is Miss Anderson doing here?
Yeah. Oh, we have to. She's helping me with my. Yeah, that's a tough explanation,
Dude, again, my teachers look like fucking Shrek. I had nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah. Does she? What's her body looking like? Her face looks different in
That's
every
the thing,
picture.
she doesn't
Yeah,
show
her face
body
is
totally
tough. It
right.
looks like they took a bunch of old ones. That mugshot ain't
that's the
helping
biggest-
nobody.
She covers her chest up. Oh, is that her?
Yeah, that's her.
You know, when you're a teacher, you can't be blasting them titties up.
Looks like she has a couple A's herself. That's a small boob joke for a teacher. A's. Nah,
Oh, Chin
I
Chin
didn't-
go- a couple
going
ladies.
full catfish.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, she looks like she has a thin body.
Yeah, she's way. I don't understand what's going on.
Dude,
to
when
her.
I was in 10th grade, she could have had a horn coming out of the middle of her forehead. If she made a pass at me, it was on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. All of my teachers were so scary, so scary. But I'm telling you, man, that was a dream.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
that's just a dream. I had a few substitute teachers that sometimes would be like way too hot, and they would know that too.
They
At my
knew
school,
it.
they like wouldn't have them.
Where'd you go to school?
Private school in Youngstown, Ohio,
Word.
called Ursuline.
All right.
Same high school as Ed O'Neill.
All right.
Al
He's
Bundy.
been on the show.
This show?
Yeah. Shout out to Ed O'Neill.
I
Black
still
belt
have-
jiu-jitsu.
I still haven't met him. Yes, he is a black
One of the
belt in
coolest guys
jiu-jitsu.
ever,
Yeah.
man. He was so cool.
That's what
Real
everybody says.
pro too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing it forever.
Real pro.
Doesn't move fast.
I met
Has
Rod.
the biggest legs I've ever seen.
Legs?
His knees are like a dinosaur's.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
He was a real football star
Yeah.
at my high school.
Legit player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Polk High.
Yeah. Ursuline. But
Yep.
Poke in the show, yeah.
Yeah.
And all that stuff was real. Like they say like he really like did all that like back in the day. Like he was the real deal in Youngstown.
Yeah, he talked about on the show how he's like the really, really good athlete,
Mm-hmm.
and then he found some like playhouse for acting and started getting involved in that, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating shit, man. He's killing the game still. Modern Family is huge.
Totally.
How are you gonna go from Married with Children to Modern Family? Just one after the
Unbelievable.
other.
Unbelievable. So such an amazing career. I mean, he's ranked. I read a thing once where he's ranked only behind Homer Simpson as all-time television dad.
God, Bill Cosby was up there until he fucked the game up, but he
Yeah.
was up there.
Yeah, he was up there.
A little older for my crowd. But for me, it's Al Bundy, Homer, and then fucking Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Yeah, I love though. That was fun back in the day.
And Danny Tanner from Full House.
Yeah,
We're about the same age, right?
I think so. How old are you?
34?
Yep, I'm 33.
What's up, dog?
Boom. Maybe I'm just a year away from crying.
When you hit 34, things change. But for you being on Netflix, I don't think you're going to cry. So what's next, brother? Let's wrap it up, man. You got your tour where you're literally all over the goddamn world.
All over. If you live anywhere in America,
You're probably
this
there.
is all different material than my Netflix special. This is my next special that I'm going to be making. I really believe in it. I've worked really hard the last couple years on all this stuff, and it's coming together crazy fun. I'm really into it, and I'm going everywhere. I mean, Charlotte,
Literally everywhere.
New York,
Everywhere.
Boston, everywhere. Detroit, Louisville, Nashville. Ralphie May's opening up for me in Nashville. That's the only date that Jeremiah Watkins isn't
Sick.
going to be on. So I have my boy Ralphie, Nashville's own, there for that. All over everywhere. Portland, Aladdin Theater, San Francisco, Cobb's. It all closes out at the Comedy Store, which is not going to be easy for me to fill up at all since I perform there all the time. Yeah, it's an interesting thing that we're doing with that. I don't know.
It'll be fun, though.
It'll be fun. I gotta have.
You'll be fine.
I gotta have some friends on that one. Maybe I'll call you in for that one.
Let me
on
know.
September.
I'm in.
Yeah. And that's all happening. All those tickets are available at TonyHinchcliffe.com or Monster Outbreak, something like that. But yeah, just go to my website and get tickets directly. it'll be worth it because we're having fun. And
Yeah, you're one of the
Jeremiah's
best
a
in the world.
freak.
No, I can vouch straight up, and it's I've been doing comedy for about 2 days now. So, but you're obviously one of the best comics in the world.
Wow,
and Jeremiah Watkins a fucking beast. And this is a guy I think Rogan, about anyone that knows anything about comedy. I mean, Tony's one of the staples at the Comedy Store, man. You're talking about a pro, and I mean, I've been wanting to co-host on this for a while, and not luckily counts for I got cancer, but a spot opened up.
Hey, let's just say I hope Brian's friend lasts a little bit longer than expected. I wouldn't mind stepping into this again.
Fighter and the pony, man. We're gonna have to fucking run this back.
The crier and the kid.
At Tony Hinchcliffe on Instagram, Twitter.
Yep, this was so much fun.
You're
Thank
the
you
best,
so
brother.
much, Brendan.
Yes,
and you're
sir.
absolutely killing it. I've talked with you personally about it, but I want your listeners to know, like, I mean, verbally, since you hyped me up, what you're doing, it's the real deal. A lot of people try to capitalize on their following and their internet thing and their podcast, and they do it a lazy way, and you can fool them once, but it doesn't always last. And you're actually putting in the real work. And in our last fighter to comedy analogy of the day, I'll say, like, you are treating it like a camp.
Yep.
You're training, you're going to the hard spots, you're not taking it easy on yourself, and it is awesome to watch you do it the proper way.
Thanks, brother.
And it's cool that you're part of our team and everything, because it's not an easy thing that you're doing, and it's
I
fun
appreciate you, man.
we all get to grow together.
Yeah.
And it almost brings a tear to my eye to think about it.
Oh, start crying.
Almost, but I'm a grown man.
Let's bring the Chinese lady back. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I threw the coins in the airplane and get out of here. Good luck to us all.
This is the Fighter and the Golden Pony. We're out.
Yeah.
Great show.
That's hilarious.
She threw coins in an airplane engine?
Oh.